Good evening from Washington. I'm Brian Patrick. We begin tonight's team coverage with Lauren Ashburn at our political desk.
Brian, in the Rose Garden this morning, President Obama announced his pick for Supreme Court to fill Justice Scalia's seat. Merrick Garland is the chief judge of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia. I watched as Garland stepped up to the podium, emotionally beginning his remarks. He said this is the greatest day of his life, except for the day he married his wife.
Today I am nominating Chief Judge Merrick Brian Garland to join the Supreme Court.
In the sunny Rose Garden, the president introduced his pick to fill Justice Scalia's seat.
I have fulfilled my constitutional duty. Now it's time for the Senate to do theirs.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the greatest honor of my life, other than Lynn agreeing to marry me 28 years ago. It's also the greatest gift I've ever received, except, and there's another caveat, the birth of our daughters, Jessie and Becky.
If confirmed, Garland would be expected to align with the more liberal members, but he is not viewed as a down-the-line liberal. The GOP has vowed not to hold hearings on the president's nominees. Republicans say a confirmation fight in an election year would be too politicized.
The Senate has never confirmed a nominee to the Supreme Court, to a Supreme Court vacancy, then opened up this late in a term-limited president's time in office.
The next justice could fundamentally alter the direction of the Supreme Court and have a profound impact on our country. So, of course, the American people should have a say in the court's direction. It is the president's constitutional right to nominate a Supreme Court justice, and it is the Senate's constitutional right to act as a check on a president and withhold its consent.
Today's pick by the president, if confirmed, could play a major role in some important cases in the year ahead. Issues like state abortion rights and the Obamacare contraception mandate are on the table. Wyatt Goolsby reports on the impact a Garland Supreme Court justice could have.
The Supreme Court is known as the highest court in the land. Its decisions affect more than just judges and lawyers. They impact society at large. The landmark case Roe v. Wade in 1973 legalized abortion, spurring pro-lifers all over the country to mobilize. Marilyn Musgrave at the Susan B. Anthony list says any nomination to the Supreme Court must be carefully considered.
We've saw many pro-life laws passed around the nation, and those are at stake when we think of how a justice would rule in regard to things like clinic regulations, having the same standards in these facilities that you would do for any other medical services. So this is incredibly important.
Musgrave says Garland doesn't have a track record on the abortion issue, but she's skeptical any Obama nominee will be friendly to the pro-life cause.
This is the most pro-abortion president we've ever had. So I don't think we have to wonder what kind of a person he would nominate and how he wants the balance to shift on the Supreme Court.
Garland could potentially be a tiebreaker vote. Right now, 4 justices were appointed by Republicans and 4 by Democrats. If confirmed, he would be the 4th Jewish justice. The other 5 are Catholic. Wyatt Goolsby, EWTN News Nightly.